you're coming across a bit like a psyche sort of. You have a deep understanding of what's going on behind the scenes. It's beauty personified in the fact that everything that is open and soft and vulnerable and gentle is brought through you, or that is the lessons you have actually learned, possibly in previous lifetimes. Your nerves are exposed and you pick everybody's thought, everybody's feelings, and you can, you find Pisces are very good at mimicking, and in that very much that sense, as in they can do accents, they can pick up everything. My sister's one Pisces moon sister, and I remember traveling in Canada on a holiday ages and ages ago, and both of my sisters were sat in the back of the car, and they knew every song from every Disney film they'd ever watched.
Excuse me, miss, did you just say Pisces moon? How do you know that? And then the Disney thing, like, what? I need to get some air. What the?
I don't remember anything, and it's just that ability to be sensitive to the outer world. Very kind, very giving, very generous, very creative. Sometimes you find kids, I don't know what they were called. As I say, I'm not very good with details, and I don't pay much attention to things I read. I take it in, but not the details. They were called like Blu-ray children, rainbow children. Basically, they're
indigo kids. Blu-ray.
Spiritual kids, and they just have an understanding, and not just the understanding in a gentle way of being able to read signals, but also with the Uranus Aquarius there, you must have the ability there to almost download things very quickly too. It's a totally different energy. One is fast and immediate, and one almost seeps and swims and sings to you. It can make you feel as if you're fighting something all the time, and it's incredibly difficult energy to have inside your body. The energy is immediate, and they just can't think of anything apart from directly what's in front of them and what they need to say at that moment. So they blurt out things. Lots of people with Tourette's, because it just is uncomfortable energy, and the electricity runs through you so fast, and it's like a really speeded up. It's the same energy, and you hear of people that have Kundalini experiences. It's the same thing. It just is shifting through really fast, and you can have epileptic seizures, you can either have Tourette's, or you can somehow try and measure that and just try and come off normal. Not easy. Sort of sweet knowing, and this electrical energy spurting through. You are going to be the whale's blowhole. That's what I'm afraid. There's something very childlike in the way that you express your knowledge, you express your understanding. It is honestly somebody who can laugh, somebody who can joke, but somebody who knows exactly what's going on underneath the surface. With sweetness and light, you'd know exactly. You'd almost feel the situation before it started. It's like almost, when the birds fly away before the eclipse. It's that type of feeling. It's when you can read situations because of the clues that basically come up before it actually hits you. You dream about things, you just know this type of thing, and your energy is sometimes difficult to contain and maintain. There is something quite innocent about you in the way that you do things. I wonder whether you're very misunderstood. Depending on what type of people you hang around with, there may be something quite dreamy and something quite otherworldly. I wonder if people have said, well, he or she a bit mad, doing that, a bit mad, what they're doing, that type of thing, prominent in you possibly, that you wouldn't really care. It would hurt, but you wouldn't care enough to change yourself. So there's something that's quite adamant about your personality. I am guessing there's something that's quite childlike and innocent that people pick up. I wonder often case if you have to fight your own corner, whether people, you may come across as a little submissive, whether people think because you're not involved in mundane situations that people think that they may have one up on you in some sort of, like a work situation. You get groups of people that are very, I suppose, judgmental, and they're always talking about something incredibly boring or incredibly mundane or something that's happened and quite negative. With your energy here, it's almost like you'd walk through the situation and almost be vulnerable from attacks from them because you're not joined in. Because this energy would make you unaware of life's trivialities. They wouldn't impress you, you wouldn't want to entertain them, you're just not interested, you just don't think there's a smoothness to the nature inside you that comes out in a rather sort of uncontrolled way, in a childlike way that people don't really know what's going on. It's like a child exterior with a complete adult interior here. There's a very humanitarian feeling to wonder whether you may work in that sort of environment where you're giving more than you're taking, or trying to grow yourself. There's always growth in yourself, but it's not a case of money, Mr. Crab. That's SpongeBob. Physically, the way that you function, or the way that you hold yourself physically, there's a feeling here of, I wonder whether you do get yourself sometimes immersed in situations and you have to learn how to defend yourself. And I'm wondering here with regards to the way that you walk, or the way that you hold yourself, maybe something, it doesn't make me think that you face people straight on. It's almost a case of you cover yourself in some way. In your clothes, the way that you walk, the way that you dress. You may be somebody who doesn't like to be in the centre of a situation and likes to stay under the surface, but I don't think in your speech, I don't think in your movements that is that easy for you. Do you know, this energy here makes me think of somebody very sensitive, somebody quite vulnerable, who may go out into the situations, appear very confident possibly. So when you're actually up against the wall, you can perform. It can come out of you. It can come out as if you're very witty. It can come out as if you're full of energy. You just look individual. You probably feel individual. But I wonder whether this sensitivity here, this childlike feel here, and this body language that feels as if you want to get home at the end of the night. You've had enough of giving your energy to people. Your greatest beauty, what makes you so beautiful to other people, is your ability It's your strength and your understanding. It's your ability to start things off. It's your optimism, it's your drive, it's your excitement in life. It's that childlike curiosity. It's passion and understanding where you sit in life. It's that ability to, regardless of what's happened, regardless of how burnt you are, regardless of how many times people have broken your heart, it's that ability to stand up and start afresh. Actually, I think that is one of the most beautiful things in people. It's that ability to be broken and to get back up again, and still maintaining vulnerability. It's easy to harden up. The hardest things to do is to keep yourself. It's not easy being here, is it? It's not easy, but it's fun. And there's something about you that feels like fun, and it's something about you that possibly is very much, like a comedian, very adept at turning situations on their head and making it amusing, because there's an insight here, a childlike personality, the ability to flip it all and to laugh at everything. So it's just like an old soul feeling here. And the Ace of Wands is still maintaining that passion, which to me, as I said, is the most beautiful thing, because there was another image I was thinking of today, but the one I can actually remember is Jack Nicholson's character in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. When he went into the asylum, and it was his personality with the energy and the understanding and then wanting to play and the gentleness. It was gentle behind it all there, but with the Ace of Wands here and the Fool, it was like electric and fun. And that's what it feels like. You know how to have fun with life, with an understanding of how it moves and an understanding of how to get up time and time again, even when you've been knocked down. Across here as the way that you express yourself as too young, sort of. It's like a young energy. Others see you as the Page of Cups. It's a young energy, but you've got the Emperor here with the Hangman, and the Emperor here is in control of themselves and in control of the world. Normally the Emperor can be a bit scary. It might be quite nice, if you're looking at somebody in a relationship. But in everyday terms, it can be I can control my life. I know where I'm coming from. I can keep myself open, and I'm still maintaining that ability and that need to search spiritually with the hangman there. This energy here is so difficult to find in, and like I say, intelligent people. Yeah, I actually mean this. You know, you get people who are scientific and quite spiritual in some ways, and it's really difficult to get the both together, for the only reason that I think your brains think differently. One side's thinking this, the other side's thinking this. Not many people have both sides of the brain working at the same time, and it's all about bringing those two parts of the brain together. Because if we're not, you know, what is the story of Atlantis anyway? You're going down one route, which will basically be AI and all this Amazon telling us when our job's up, or you go down the natural route. You know, you need to balance it. There's no way you're going to stop forward movement, but you've still got to remember nature and everything that's natural. This is I'm thinking here Einstein, I'm thinking Tesla. Probably the only two people I can think off the top of my head that meld those two together really well. Incredibly, you know, I'm not saying this, I don't know what I'm talking about, intellectual, you know, scientifically intellectual, but still that spiritual understanding, you know, we're not separate from nature. They knew that. And there was some famous study, I've forgotten it, it's French, it sounds like, I can't even say it, begins with J. Anyway, he was the same type of person, wasn't interested in astrology, and decided to study it, and then after something about 4 years, he said, yeah, there's definitely something in it. There is something in it. It's the only thing I think I would quite passionately say, if you can, you know, if you can do it correctly, it's the most fascinating thing on earth to me. Anyway, your energy, your soul speaking, your soul whispering to me, the beautiful soul that is you has come into this lifetime with an understanding and a sensitivity, and you must be here. I don't know of your age, you could actually be quite young with this feeling here. You've come here to help others understand how to read below the surface, how to function from a different perspective, how not to always go forward, how to bring natural processes into life and to understand it, and for other people to understand. Just because you can't see it, because you don't understand it, doesn't mean it's not there. But you have an energy that's exciting and probably a lot of tolerance for other people. This energy speaks to me as somebody who's very open, very friendly, and opens other people up to other possibilities. There's a childlike innocence about you. There's a sweetness. You understand what's going on. This is like a wounded warrior type of spread here. Been through it, seen it all before, and somebody's talking to you. Please go down to earth and try again. You're like, oh, please, God, not again. No, don't make me go again. But no, you're needed because you can identify with people, because you've still got the fire in you. People are giving up. Please get down there. They just don't want any more. Oh, no, please don't. Yes, and then you're doing really well, and you've got the Emperor card there, so you show up in life and you know what you're doing. You're in control of yourself. People can identify with that. But then there's still the innocence there, and there's still, I'm guessing, a real psychic understanding of slowly seeping in your energy to other people's energy, so they begin to understand there's more behind the curtains. You may be quite shy here because you have got lots of princess cards here, lots of young innocent cards here, so there's something about you that possibly was quite reluctant to come down to earth. Do you know what I mean? There's that type of, I'm going to have to pull myself out of this situation now. You may have to take time out. This is fascinating. And, you know, it's like, there's a star, is it Procyon? I don't know. That was called the Princess of the Brave Warrior or something like that. I love this type of thing. This is what this feels like. There's something to do with, I'm not going to go into that. That might be too much, what? Too boring for you.
Tell me. What the fuck? Say it.
You know, well, they talk about, I'll go around and see, I can't help myself. They talk about stars and you think, what is the star? I just think it's honestly, we talked about in between lifetimes and sitting in front of a sun lamp, basically labeled Neptune, and that's what you've been humming into your body, and that's what you come down with, and it comes through this energy. I think stars are the same thing. It's almost like a gateway, isn't it? It's like an opening, and it's like energy, stars aligning and all this type of thing. This does have a feeling of being sent down at this time, and it has a strength and a warrior feeling about it, but with a softness. It is, honestly, it's not Chiron feel at all, but it is that wounded warrior. It's like, it makes me feel that you are brave and you are strong, and people gravitate towards you because although you're that, you still put on a jester's face, a childlike exterior, but the people can almost sense your ability to get things moving, and people might gravitate towards you because you do have this innocence about you. But I think it's you that would pull out of situations first, because you're just too sensitive, too vulnerable to be there, and it feels as if you soak up other people's energy too much. And people might not sense that with you, because I wonder with the Fool card there and the Emperor card there, whether when you show up in everyday life as being very competent and very friendly, and only you will know, and probably the closest people, that you have to go home. You just have to go home to reboot your energy in some way, because you end up getting frazzled, sort of over-functioning nervous system. And to be honest though, I think sometimes you need that when you come down to earth.
Come down to earth.
You come down to earth like Dr. Spock, isn't it? But you need to be alive. You need to question everything. You need to be curious. You can't just go through. You only get one crack of it. You only get one crack of it in this lifetime. You've got to ask questions. You've got to understand them. Something about you that is doing this naturally. The Ace of Wands and the Fool, that is the fire inside people. That is the fire inside people. That Uranus and that, or Saturn or Uranus energy that flows through people, it's your electric. It is basically your circuit's plugged in, and the Ace of Wands over here, how other people see you, that circuit's working really well. But this is very much needed at the moment here, because it has that natural understanding of where we need to stay. But with the electric there is, that energy there is an understanding of your internal energy and how to balance that in the outside world. Because to me, the scariest thing is going down that Atlantis story. I don't think it's happened. It's not something, I don't even know, you find bits of underneath the sea and we're looking. I don't think it's happened. I think it is just basic. It may have happened in cycles, but we're heading that way now, and you need to keep a balance. And that's why, at Stonehenge up the road, that's why it's there. We are part of nature, and this has an understanding of being both. It's a spiritual understanding. It's the ability to function in this outside world. It's almost like a rebellious feeling of, don't make me go down and tell these people again. I don't really want to go down again, but you're here. And the Ace of Wands is you saying with the Emperor card there, I'm here, I'm going to do it. It's not a case of you preaching. It's not a case of, having to do something like stand on a soapbox. It's everything that you touch every day that touches other people and makes them aware of where they need to go, where they're coming from, what's important, what's not important. So much that we get bombarded with in everyday life is uninteresting and trivial, and we go down these ham-shank routes of thinking that we've got to deal with everything and look as if we're functioning in the outside world. And I remember going to Asia once. We were in Laos, and I was watching people walking around, and how the people that we met, it was just felt different. And I don't know why. And I kept thinking, they must see us as really driven over here, really, let's get the car, let's get the house, let's get the job, let's work, so many hours a week until we're dead. And I don't know, that this may be rude, I don't know. But to me, they just seem really laid back. People that I met, I know it's, only a small majority of people, and I thought, my God, they must think that we're weird. You can do it. You probably do it. the Emperor card there and the Ace of Wands. But with the Neptune card there and the Uranus, it's like, I'm doing it, but I don't, I could stop it tomorrow. Feels like you've been sent here to do something. There's like an all-knowing feel of, oh my God, you grown-ups, you're just mad. What are you doing? So I don't know if you're young. If not, it's just that energy that you may have in you of being born into a mad world, and you're here to change it. And the way that you're meant to do that is in being yourself. There's innocence here. You've got to share yourself. You've got to show yourself. And the Emperor card there, you could be doing something in work, and the way that you touch people, the way that you move people with that, Neptune moves people. Neptune is violins. Neptune can make you cry. Neptune makes me cry all the time. It's poetry. It's singing, it's violins, it's film, it's illusion, it's much needed because it makes us more aware of ourselves. It's about whispering in beautiful songs that we actually begin to understand ourselves. And that is something that you do to people, even though your energy may appear as if you don't care. Your energy may be, it fools people to think that you don't really know what you're doing, and that is a Fool card altogether. Travelling through life, pretending you don't know why you're here, but deep down inside yourself, you're doing a really good job. This is absolutely beautiful. And I don't know if I've expressed it really well, but to me, I can feel it, and it makes you feel a bit tingly. It does sound like a dick, but I don't, honestly. Really, really beautiful energy. It's your ability to understand sensitivities in yourself and other people. It's to see the beauty in life. It is that violin, it's that symphony, it's that orchestra. You hear it, you sing it. That's what you've learned how to do really well before you came down. The Fool and the two young cards here is an innocence and ability to play with life. It's that harnessing that electrical energy inside yourself, that you get it to work for yourself. There's still a fun, there's still childlike, not childish, but childlike innocence about you. So there's something about you that draws people towards you, and then you start expressing the subtleties later on. The Ace of Wands and the Emperor here is a really strong feeling of somebody who attracts people by their initiative and I said that Jack Nicholson character, and with the Uranus there, it's like your cheekiness and your playfulness and your ability to get things started. And with the Emperor card there, your ability to function in a mad world and almost look like you're part of it, but you're not. The Page of Cups, the Hangman there, once again mirrors that childlike innocence, that sort of friendliness and that openness that draws people towards you and allows you to do your job. And the Hangman here, once again, it goes with a Neptune card of understanding, standing back. Uranus is very good at standing back as well, and understanding how subtleties work, what part you're going to play, how can you get the best out of it for yourself, because you were all trying to get better at things every day, and how can you affect other people in the process. Your physical cards down here are cards of your back turned. So there's something here where you have to protect that energy, because the Uranus is high functioning, nervous energy. You take in other people's moods, you take in other people's opinions, the way that they speak and their accents really easy. You don't need to do that too much. You need to pull yourself out. So your time to yourself is vitally important for you to be able to function. I know you look like you function, but inside yourself is to maintain your balance.